Welcome to The Explainer. We're going to break down a really important and often misunderstood legal document today, the quitclaim deed.
So, let's just jump right in. If someone hands you a deed to a piece of property, you probably think, great, it's mine, right? Well, not so fast. It turns out not all deeds are created equal. And assuming they are, that can be a really risky mistake. Some give you a rock-solid guarantee, and others, well, they don't promise you much at all.
Okay, so first things first, before we get into the nitty-gritty of a quitclaim deed, we got to back up a step and talk about what a deed actually is. This is really the foundation of how property ownership gets transferred.
You know, at its heart, a deed is pretty simple. It's the official, signed, legal document that says, this property is no longer mine, it's now yours. It's the paper that makes the transfer of ownership official. And for it to be legit, it's got to be signed, notarized, and then filed with your local government. That's what makes it a public record.
Okay, this is a big one. A lot of people use the words deed and title interchangeably, but they are absolutely not the same thing. And it's a super important distinction. The deed, that's the physical piece of paper, right? It's the instrument that transfers the ownership. The title, though, isn't a piece of paper at all. It's the idea, the legal concept of you having the right to own and use the property. Here's a great way to think about it. The deed is the key to your house. The title is your legal right to actually own and live in that house.
All right, so now we know what a deed is. But here's where it gets really interesting. There are different types of deeds, and they offer vastly different levels of protection for the person receiving the property.
And really, when you boil it all down, the difference between these deeds comes down to just one thing, a guarantee, or, a lack of one. The question is, what is the person giving you the property actually promising? Are they giving you a full-on warranty, saying, I guarantee I own this, no strings attached? Or are they just handing over their claim and walking away?
So let's start with the best of the best. This is the warranty deed. You can think of this as the gold standard, especially in typical real estate sales. When you get a warranty deed, the seller is making a legally binding promise. They are guaranteeing that they have a clear title to the property, free of any debts or other claims. They are literally putting themselves on the hook, legally, if any problems pop up later. And here you go. This chart lays it all out, plain and simple. On one side, you have the warranty deed, the highest level of protection, a full guarantee and legal responsibility for the seller. And on the other side, you've got the quitclaim deed. No protection, zero guarantees, and absolutely no liability for the person giving it to you. It is a night and day difference.
Okay, so let's really zoom in on this quitclaim deed. We know it's not a promise of ownership, so what exactly is it promising? What does it actually do?
The key word here, and you really got to hang on to this one, is interest. See, a quitclaim deed doesn't actually transfer ownership. It transfers whatever interest the person signing it has in the property. And that interest could be full ownership, or it could be absolutely nothing. All the document says is, whatever stake I might have in this place, I'm now handing it over to you.
Yeah, exactly. The whole point of the document is for the grantor, that's the person giving the deed, to just release their rights. If they actually own the place, great, they're giving you those rights. But, and this is the huge but you have to remember, if it turns out they don't actually own anything, well then they're transferring nothing to you, absolutely nothing.
So that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? This is the absolute biggest risk you take with a quitclaim deed. What happens if the person who gave you that deed didn't actually own the property to begin with?
You get nothing. It's that simple and that brutal. The piece of paper you're holding is technically still valid because the person did quit their claim, just like the document says. But if their claim was worthless, then you've just been handed a worthless claim. The ownership never transfers because they never had it in the first place.
And to pour salt on the wound, there's nothing you can do about it. You have absolutely no legal recourse. You can't sue them, you can't demand your money back, because guess what? They never promised you anything. They never guaranteed they owned it. By accepting a quitclaim deed, you accepted all of the risk. It's your problem now.
Okay, so after hearing all that, you've got to be thinking, wow, this sounds terrible. Why on earth would anyone ever use one of these? And that's a fair question. But it turns out they're actually really useful in certain situations, specifically in high-trust, low-risk scenarios.
And here are some perfect examples. Almost none of these are about buying or selling a house from a stranger. It's all about family or legal housekeeping. A parent giving property to a child, adding your new spouse to the title of your home, or on the flip side, removing an ex-spouse after a divorce. It's also super common for things like setting up a living trust or just clearing up some old confusion on a property's record. The one thing all these have in common? The people involved already trust each other. There's no question about who really owns the property.
So let's get to the bottom line here. What's the big takeaway? The one thing you have to remember.
It's this: a quitclaim deed is a really simple and fast tool for moving a property interest around. That's what makes it so great for those family situations. But that simplicity comes at a huge price. All, and I mean all of the risk is on the person receiving it. So while it's useful, you have to be incredibly careful using it for anything that looks like a real sale between people who don't have a history of trust.
So at the end of the day, no matter what kind of deed someone puts in front of you, you need to stop and ask yourself one simple question. What is this document actually promising me? Is it a rock-solid guarantee of ownership, or is it just someone's promise to release their claim and walk away? Understanding the answer to that question, well, that is absolutely crucial for protecting your rights and your investment.